Hey, Santa, we're just here to check in on Mrs. Claus and see if she's feeling any better. Oh, no, Santa, what are you doing to Mrs. Claus? Ho, 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 ho! It's Loathsome Things with a very special Christmas episode. Oh, ho, ho!
Jesus Christ.
And now my voice doesn't work because I did that. Sweet, sweet listeners, it's Josh. As always, me saying these words this way. And with me is the guy who says those words that way. His name is John. John, what words are they and how do they sound?
These are the words, what John does say, and they sound such as thee. Wait.
Whoa.
I'm doing okay, I guess. You didn't ask, but I guess I'm doing all right. It just occurred to me as I was saying that. But in that spirit, how are you doing?
Oh, man, how are you doing?
Oh, man. Oh, how are you doing?
I am doing terrible. I don't know if we've talked about the weather lately, but I know all of our listeners in the future will want to know about the weather that we're experiencing at some vague point in the past. But it gets cold and then it gets hot. All of the plants are confused and I can't breathe comfortably ever.
Yeah, my balls hate me.
I've got one that thinks it's cold and it's shrinking up inside of me, and the other one, I'm just playing hacky sack with that guy.
The other one knows it's hot and is pasted to my thigh. It's like Velcro.
One looks like a brain, and the other one is just building up that horrible jam. You know the stuff.
Jam.
There's seeds in it. It's not good.
Oh, man. That kind that's got the chunks.
Oh, man. Like when you put the leftover gravy in the fridge and the fat rises to the top.
It's congealed.
Oh, good. Good. This is how we get new listeners.
Raking it in.
Oh, man. Well, if gross body things don't drive you away from listening to a podcast, welcome to our Christmas episode. John, what are we going to be talking about to Holly Holiday?
Oh, man. You did indeed pick a fine one. I don't know if you listeners remember back in the Hades, if you lived in the U.S. and any of the major cities or anywhere where you got television, you probably had Sunday afternoon or evening access to kung fu movies, which were showing basically one after the other for hours on a Sunday. It was fantastic. And they were primarily produced by the Shaw Brothers. Golden Harvest production company, Shaw Brothers. But they did not exclusively make kung fu movies. They also dipped their wee little toesies in a genre we like to call giallo. Or as normal people say it, giallo.
Yes.
So it's
gelato.
Gelato. So with that in mind, some guy named Ching Chong Wei, or whatever his name was.
Whoa, okay. Okay there, guy.
I can't remember.
Whoa!
Li Hui Shun, or something like that?
Kuei Chih Hung.
Oh, I was so not close at all.
You were closer on the first one.
No shit. Fuck now. This is... I decided that it's actually funnier if I don't prepare. So,
yeah.
Anyways, yes, this movie, by the way, is called Corpse Mania. I believe it was made in, 1983? If I remember?
1981.
It was 81.
Possibly the single greatest year in horror movie history.
No shit. We've certainly revisited it quite a bit, including, I believe, last week.
Possibly, yes.
And maybe not last week, but the week before that. God damn.
Some week ago, we did.
Oh boy! Oh, this movie is internationally known as a Christmas classic. Oh wait, no, it isn't. But
No.
it is amazing, and it does contain a huge amount of talcum powder, hairy gloves, and maggots.
Oh man. Yeah, I figured it was a good one for Christmas because Christmas is the holiday where we celebrate the birth of everyone's favorite corpse.
If you are down to clown with the flesh, this movie is right up your alley.
Oh man, if part of your religious practice is to eat the flesh of the same guy's body year after year after year, then this movie featuring bodies just disappearing from their resting places is for you.
Oh man, let the bodies hit the flow.
Oh man, is that a maggot all over your body, or are you just happy to see me?
Oh man, this movie is completely ridiculous. But what a gem.
Oh, yeah.
It's disgusting, though. I mean, if you have an aversion to, I don't know, maggots, this movie might be uncomfortable for you.
Yeah. It's also not great if you're not a fan of lady pubes because they just like pop in and out of existence randomly.
Yeah, I was watching it and I was like, at first I'm like, I wonder if they made this in mainland China. And then it was lady pubes and Nipsey be poppin', Nipsey be poppin'.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope, that's Hong Kong, of course. Durr.
It's Hong Kong. Here we go.
Let's do this.
It's set in like early 1900s Hong Kong, so like right at the beginning of the lease, so it's still very China-y, but you know, it's starting to veer away.
Yeah, starting to veer away. Back in the early 20th century when China was very dusty.
Oh man, yeah. Cobble me streets.
Cobble me webs.
Okay, Kuei, as he's known to his friends back in the day, his other films, he was like a minor league director during this era. He was, he directed such films as Ji Zhang, which is described as a Hong Kong kung fu film noir with cobras.
What?
Yeah, I have to track that one down. The Bamboo House of Dolls, which is basically a Stalag 17 style, we have to escape this World War II prison for women.
Oh my god.
He directed The Tea House, Ghost Eyes, Spirit of the Raped, Killer Constable, Bewitched, Hex, and Curse of Evil, all of which sound amazing.
Spirit of the Raped. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's, wow, what a collection. That's fantastic.
Yeah. After his death, he has been dubbed the Hong Kong Cult Meister because people had to come up with something to call him, I guess.
Wow, it's a shame that people don't listen to our show and want to give money to us to make extra crap on Patreon, because we would be doing all of those.
Oh my god, I would do such a deep dive on this guy's career. They all look amazing.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Wow. Oh, well, you know.
Yeah. Kuei named his son Beaver, and, after he decided he was done with making movies, he moved his family to the United States, opened a pizza restaurant, and died of liver cancer in 1999.
Wow. How auspicious of him. A pizza restaurant. Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's like, wow, I'm sad.
I wish I could have had his pizza.
Oh, man. Beaver has gone on to become a film producer, including his most notable works as a producer. He was one of the producers of The Meg and Meg 2: The Trench.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
The good stuff.
He's quite a beaver, is young Beaver.
He's a busy beaver.
Oh, shit. I did not see that coming. He said his dad would, quote, bitch about his work every day, never quite satisfied with how his work had turned out or how it was being distributed. He was only ever happy when he knew for a day that a film had worked at the box office. Then he'd start worrying again. He'd be so happy to know that his films were getting a second look today. So, there you go.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Rest in pizza, Kuei. We're talking about your movie.
Oh, man. Oh, Kuei. Yeah.
This film features a bunch of Shaw Brothers actors. Most of them have this as their most notable film, but several of them were in the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. I'm just like, wow, that's amazing.
Oh, that movie is so good. Why are we not doing a Kung Fu podcast? Jesus.
Yeah, I know. Like, this one little, like, just dip of the toe into Kung Fu in this movie, I was like, oh, man, yeah, let's go. Hit him. Oh, it's over? God damn it. Why?
Why is that knife so big?
Oh, man, yes. What a big knife.
Even the handle is huge. He drops it at one point. It's like the handle is like 12 inches around. It's
amazing.
So good.
Yeah. This movie's terrific. So yeah, like John said, if you're squeamish about necrophilia or just squeamish about maggots, possibly mealworms, I want to say, instead of maggots, like good, yummy mealworms, then this movie's not going to be you, because there are buckets of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I think I can handle a couple mealworms, there's more than a couple mealworms.
Yeah, they really get around.
Oh man, there's so many of them.
Could you imagine having to be that lady and just lay there while that's happening to you?
Is it okay if we dump most of them around your vagina? Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah. We're not going to zoom in. We won't be able to tell whether or not they're making their way inside of you. Don't worry. That'll just be for you to know.
Jesus Christ. Oh.
We're also going to need you to be real still while it's happening.
No breathy, no blinky.
No, it's fine. We'll just cover your face in plastic.
I know. What the hell was that? That was really weird.
Yeah. I think it was to preserve the old face, you know? Yeah. He wanted a little kissy window.
The best part of all of that is by the end of the movie, when they bring out their big reveal, it makes no sense at all.
No sense at all. It's amazing. This movie is super hard to follow, too, because it does a time jump for some reason.
Yes. None of it fucking fits together. And then they have this big reveal at the end, and you're just like, wait, what? What does that mean? I don't know. Did I miss something? No, you didn't miss anything because it's not there.
No. All right. So, do you want to jump into it, John?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. A man brings his gravely ill wife home and can be heard grunt-rutting her despite her illness. Much to the delight of the local gossip community, who later smell something foul coming from the home and discover a woman's maggot-strewn corpse amongst all the cobwebs.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know. Apparently this was the police inspector's ancestral home or something. It's really hard to tell what's going on in this movie.
Yeah, the gossips smell something, get the cops, but I guess it's, like that has any relevance at all, but okay.
None even a little. We are now introduced to the crack team of 1900s Hong Kong police on the trail of what they're beginning to suspect is a serial necrophile.
Yeah, I like when they say, oh, another corpse that has been sexually assaulted by a mysterious man in with scarf and shades, and then the chief is like, I believe that these may be connected. It's like, oh, thanks.
I like how
Thanks, Sherlock.
he's played as like such a smart guy too. Like, oh man, this guy knows.
Here's my plan. We'll have guys hidden all over the place so that when he attacks, we'll be ready. But we'll put all over the place except the room where the lady that will be attacked is sitting.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Oh. Alright. Elsewhere, Zheng Wan visits Madame Lan's drunken harem, a place where men go to enjoy the company of living women, except Mei, who is quite ill. Zheng Yuan pays Madame Lan to release Mei so he can marry her. He brings her home where she is tended to by a doctor, and Madame Lan brags about selling her off to the local alcohol delivery hansom, who later stumbles into the house as Zhang Wan is tenderly powdering Mei's dead body with his love mitten, then later returns again to lead police to the house where Zhang Wan has just finished doing man push-ups into Mei's maggot bukkake cascade.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Woo! Wow.
Yes. So he's arrested. Now we're back in the present, I think. The cops discover that Zheng Wan has been released early from the insane asylum, so the most recent body that was discovered is likely from one of his romances or something. Maybe?
Who knows?
Who can say with this one? They search for Zheng Wan, who shields his face with the aforementioned white scarf and dark sunglasses, even when it's night. Is he crazy? Well, yes.
Well.
He stabs a cop with the aforementioned biggest knife you've ever seen until later in this movie, and with his dying breath, the cop identifies the killer as indeed Zheng Wan. They then find a red lit room with the necrophile body of Plum, another one of Madame Lan's girls, which Zheng Wan had signed out of the morgue like a book from a library.
But I got a signature.
Yeah, the guy's like, look, it's not my fault. Look, he signed right here. What was I supposed to do? Not give him the dead body of a lady?
What am I, an amateur?
The cops then track down Zheng Wan's cousin, who says Zheng Wan sold his family's heirloom so he can buy the drunken heron and free the women from their life of sin. Some of the things in this movie might be poorly translated because there's an awful lot of jokes about butchering dogs, and
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that, I don't know. But the life of sin, I was like, really? Okay, not indentured sex servitude? Fine, whatever.
The version I saw, he said that he bought the place because he wanted to lift the girls from the pit of fire or something like that.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, shit, okay.
Wow, that's way better! God damn!
And he's not crazy at all.
No. Let's see. The police track down the gangster who owns the drunken heron, which requires a quick yet badass martial arts scene, including, there's like a gaff hook that gets, driven into a card table. It's really badass, really fast, and then it's just over. Yeah. Sad.
Yeah.
Shaw Brothers stuff. Yeah, let's go. The gangster says... Oh, the gangster, by the way, his name is Whiskers.
Yes, Whiskers the gangster.
Yeah. Whiskers says he doesn't know what they're talking about, then later meets Madame Lan in a dark place that has crazy revolving doors with no walls around them. It's amazing. He confronts her and says, oh, I see that you extorted the guy out of a bunch of money that you didn't tell me about, and then he blackmails her so that he won't like, hey, give me a bunch of money or I'll tell the cops that you did this. And then on his, he makes his way back to the car and gets splattered across the inside of the car by none other than the scarfed, sunglassed Zhang Yan. And then the body is come upon by a really drunk guy, like the most drunk you can be while being from Hong Kong and mobile, who is then half strangled by the dead body and then reports it to the police.
By the way, in the version that I saw, Whiskers is not called Whiskers. He's referred to as Beard 9.
That is so much more badass! Oh my god!
Beard 9. I'm like, what? That can't be right. That cannot be his name.
That is definitely his 4chan screen name.
Hey, anybody heard from Beard 9?
Yeah. Oh man, Beard 9? He's the head of our cool racist organization. I sure hope Coleman Domingo didn't murder him.
Coleman Domingo. Hey, I think somebody stole all my red paint.
Okay, let's see. Wait, no, I lost my spot. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I know this is good podcast.
The drunken guy bumps into the car door, gets semi-strangled by the dead dude, and then goes and reports him at the old police station. Aru.
That's right. Then the police let Madame Lin know about his death. She's worried that she may be next, so she gives her daughter a huge wad of cash and tells her to leave for her own safety. But then Zhang Wan kills the daughter with his huge knife and then smashes her face with a rock while she was just very normally strolling home down a dark alleyway.
And then she goes to hide in this chicken coop stack thing where all the chickens are kept in these wicker baskets or something.
Yeah.
And then gets
attacked by the chicken guy.
Yeah, she gets attacked by the chicken guy. And the sound that they make, it sounds like all of the eagles in the world are being raped by lions or something. It's like, what is this sound? That the chickens don't sound like that. It was just like, it was horrible. Jesus Christ.
We have not touched on the soundtrack to this movie. John, does your version of this movie include the sound of like 5 idiot children hammering on the inside of a piano with forks?
Yes, just endless weird tinkling in the background. Like, what the fuck is that? Why is that there?
I mean, it does make me feel tense, but I don't think that's the right kind.
I thought it was maybe bleeding in from another movie or something.
Nice. It's from the movie next door.
Oh, man.
The cops set up a clever trap for Saquon that you mentioned, including them hiding underneath sheets to try to look like furniture that's been covered.
Everywhere but the room in which is the supposed victim. But wait.
and she, like, their entire plan hinges on her pulling a rope to signal that he's about to kill her, while they all hang out outside and pretend to be patrons of her prostituteria.
But they have a trial run, which has nothing to do with what they actually plan to do.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Nope, not even a little. Yeah. It's like, and that's how it might have gone. It's just to fake us out because we're like, oh, wow, what a cool scene. They caught him. Oh, no.
Yeah, because they were like, well, no one's going to suspect that they're pretending to be furniture. It's like, no, you're right. They wouldn't suspect that because it's really stupid.
Yeah. And yet somehow Zhang out-clevers them by hiding under the bed, getting Madame Lan and pulling her under the bed where she can't pull the string, and then they are pretending to be patrons downstairs, and they're like, wait, everyone shut up. I feel like maybe I hear screaming. And then after a long time of people having to be told to shut up, they do indeed hear screaming, and then they go upstairs. People start shooting at windows on purposely, not hitting the guy.
For
Just
no
like,
reason.
oh yeah, let me break that window with my gun. And then Madame Lawn's dead body is flung from the topmost level, where her face smashes into unrecognizable white powder against the cobblestones. But Detective Smart One suspects something may be amiss after he looks at her fingers and thinks to himself,
So stupid.
Later that night, Madame Lawn emerges from her hiding space to retrieve her box of money and meets up with none other than the scarf and sunglassed Zing Yan himself. They they make a getaway, but instead, Zing Yan beheads her with his even bigger knife than before.
It's like a surfboard with a giant handle on it.
Yeah, like, what is going on? What possible purpose did that knife ever serve?
And it magically knows how to reflect light when there are no lights anywhere.
Yeah, it just will catch a flicker of I can't think of what candle and just reflect it back a million times. It's the best knife you've ever seen. Oh my god.
So stupid.
If Zhang Yan saw Crocodile Dundee, he would be like, that's not a knife!
This is a knife!
So after he beheads her, all of the money spills out of the box, and he, starts picking up the cash and trying to gather it up. Just then, the cops show up and shoot him in the hand and catch him, pull the scarf and sunglasses off of his face and reveal, wait a minute, that's not Zing Yan, that's actually the alcohol delivery handsome from earlier.
Here's where I'm completely lost.
Like, what? He confesses that he and Madame Lan killed Zhang Yan back in the day, stole his money, and then he started killing more girls, and then also killed Whiskers / Beard 9, and then he killed Madame Lan just a second ago because she was being a total bitch to him and was not going to give him his share of the money because if he tried anything, she was going to tell the cops on him.
Oh,
and
in the version I saw, he said that he killed her because she refused to give him any of the money. She was going to keep it all for herself. So he killed everybody. And the bit about killing Beard 9 didn't make any sense either, because I was under the assumption that Beard 9 was simply investigating, and he just happened to stumble across the guy, and that's why the guy killed him. But then when they ask him if he killed Beard 9, he says yes, and he says he has some reason, like, I was angry at him because he did this or whatever. And I'm like, no, you weren't. He just stumbled across you, so you killed him.
So in the version I watched, he killed Beard 9 because Beard 9 was blackmailing Madame Lan.
Oh, that's what he said. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. But then there was also another guy that he killed just because that guy, happened to, stumble upon him in the middle of a doing of a thing, so that guy just had to die. I don't know. He also explains that the fake Madame Lan that he threw from the window was in fact her daughter. Okay. Oh, that scene, by the way, where they, peel the cloth off of her face.
Oh my god.
Is so good.
It's like, good lord, I didn't know that's under there.
Yeah, that's real good. Yeah, it turns, I guess the skull, the bones of her face turned into powder. It's so good.
It was so weird. It was like, what the fuck? What? Okay. I mean, it was disgusting. I'll give him that.
Yeah. He shows them where they buried, Zing Yuan, where they have to, use pickaxes to dig him up, and he's, covered in like green yellow jelly for some reason down there. I don't know. It's just sticky and gross. And then he is executed by a firing squad in the rain, in the background, while the head investigator low-key admits that maybe he could have done a better job on this case. Movie over.
Doesn't he say that he knew it wasn't Mrs. Lan because the other girl had tobacco stains on her fingers? Isn't that what he said?
It's because Madame Lan was like had stains on her fingers.
I was going to say
always smoking cigarettes.
Because I noticed right away that the actress had stains on her fingers. I was like, oh,
nice.
That lady must really smoke a lot. But it was just a setup for the stupid movie.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the movie. That is the Shaw Brothers version of a film noir, and it is fucking glorious. It doesn't make a lick of sense, though.
Doesn't make any sense, and that's fine. Most of the giallo films don't make any sense either, so it's kind of perfect.
Yeah. And like many of the actual Italian giallo films, large swaths of this movie are just fucking boring.
Yes. Endless scenes of people doing things like pulling files out of drawers and snooping around really slowly. It was it really for a movie that was like 70 or 80 minutes long, it drags at times. It's funny.
Yeah. But it pays off in the end, like, really up until the scene where he's powder shamming her body. You're just like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? But then that comes in and you're like, all right, I guess I'll keep watching it. Then it really pays dividends towards the end.
That glove, it's like the world's largest mitten covered in white fur. It was huge. Where do you get one of those?
It looks like something left over from Labyrinth.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Just like, we found David Bowie's glove.
And there was stuff in there that like at the beginning where you see the gossipy ladies, and one of them has like white talcum blotches all over her face for some reason that I couldn't figure out. I don't know if that was like some kind of inside joke about old ladies or I don't know what the point was to that, but I was like, somebody needs to get that glove on her because she's got talcum powder blotches all over her fucking face. I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah. I think it was supposed to be that she was like bad at makeup or whatever, but I can't really be sure. But yeah, this movie taught me a thing about like Hong Kong cinema, because you know how like those ladies and Madame Lan would do that really, really annoying sing-song way of talking. Mm-hmm. I think this movie was specifically like pushing that as annoying. Like it was only the annoying characters that did that, whereas people that weren't portrayed as annoying characters just spoke in a normal cadence. And I was like, I'm gonna have to like rethink how I think about Chinese movie characters now, because I'd never like put any of that together before.
Neither had I. Yeah, I mean, it was surprisingly modern in certain ways, you know. I mean, it was just the subject matter was pretty adult for what you would expect from a fucking Shaw Brothers movie. I mean, Jesus. You expect lots of fighting and violence, of course, which, I mean, it's not a kung fu movie, so but that was like, then he raped their corpse, and like full frontal nudity and all. I wasn't expecting any of that.
Yeah, no, it's wild. And then it's weird because like he's actually at the end played off as like a romantic figure, you know, like her dying wish was for him to make sweet, sweet love to her body, and he wasn't actually like killing people. He just loved her and then wanted to free all of the other women from the bondage of prostitution. But then they were like, yeah, what if I pretended to be him and also kill people too? Like a real sicko.
It was a giallo morality play.
Yeah. It's fucking great.
Oh.
I love it. I don't know what's up with that knife, though.
Yeah, that knife was ridiculous. I mean, even for that movie, it was just, it's just like, wow, that is amazing. I mean, I've seen some pretty crazy knives in movies, but this was like, I've seen swords that are smaller than this knife. It was enormous.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not the shape of any knife you've ever seen before. It has all kinds of extras, like, tang on it. Like, I don't know what it's supposed to be.
It looked like a ship's sail. Like a giant stainless steel yacht sail.
Oh man, yeah, amazing. Hard recommend. It goes up there with I'm gonna say better than any giallo movie.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of giallo movies. I generally tend to find them extremely boring.
Yeah,
they seem to, of course, they're Italian, so you get primarily that typical Italian 70s thing where none of it makes any fucking sense at all. It's like all the bad elements of Italian horror movies from the 70s. The boring shit, the hyper stylization, well, the hyper stylization is awesome, but particularly the boring, like, tediousness of, some of these movies. I mean, like, I love Suspiria. I love the Mothers of Tears trilogy films, but, well, the first two anyway. But I mean, there's huge sections of those movies that are it's just tedious as hell. And that's my whole experience with giallo films, is just all tedious with explosions of really uncomfortable violence. And that, which kind of works for a little while, but then then it's just, okay, can we just do the violence and just make this movie like 10 minutes long?
Yeah. It's kind of like another great giallo film, Pieces, is like, oh, what if I just watched the end of that movie?
Yes, very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's this. I don't really have much more to say about it. It's pretty, it's stylish, it's neat, it's nonsensical. Go watch it if you can find it. I really love the fact that we had two different versions of this going on. I think we should watch two different versions of every movie from now on.
Man, that's awesome. I got mine off of, I started it on Daily Motion, but
nice.
The first set of commercials that it went to, which already I was like, commercials? The first set of commercials that it went to, it played the same fucking commercial for some Disney show over and over. It was on some sort of loop. So I was like, fuck that. And I went back to effedupmovies.com, I think it's called. EFFED.
Nice.
They've got a pretty good selection of some really, like, disgusting movies. I think they even have like a Serbian film on there. It's just all the really gruesome shit.
Nice.
Varying quality, but no fucking commercials. It's just sometimes you have to click on the thing and then close the pop-up windows. But once you get it open, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I was not able to find this movie on any legitimate streaming service. I would have been happy to watch it on one, but I was able to find it on Look 2 Movie, or Look Movie 2.
Yeah.
I think it's Look Movie 2.
Yeah.
And it's a Vinegar Syndrome. Like, the one that I watched is the Vinegar Syndrome cut, but I don't know if the what do you call them? Closed captions, I don't think were.
Could be.
But yeah, like,
yours sound like they were probably more accurate than mine. I mean, Whiskers would make more sense than Beard 9, but maybe that means some shit that I don't know, because I don't know fuck all about Hong Kong. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but go eat some pizza at your local pizzeria.
Yeah, and
yeah,
in honor of Wei Wang Chung. What was his name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
You got it in one.
Bingo.
Everybody Corpse Mania tonight. It's Kuei Chih Hung.
Kuei Chih Hung. Okay, got it. I'm gonna remember.
Yeah. Ooh, big old Powerade. Ooh, it's orange. Meow, 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 meow. tickle the balls.
Whoa.
So John, other than this movie, what horror related content or non-horror related content of note have you been consuming of late?
Yeah, I started season 2 of Silo on Apple TV and got really fucking bored and gave up. I'll finish it at some point, but I just wasn't into it. I listened to some pretty cool audiobooks. I just started Camp Damascus from what's his name? Chuck Tingle.
Chuck Tingle, let's go!
I know, I'm excited. This is my first Chuck Tingle book, actually. I started a book that was part of a trilogy from an author named Haley Piper. She's a trans author, and it's called the Worm Trilogy or something like that. And then I realized that the book was the third book in the trilogy, and I'd only done the first one, so I stopped. But movie-wise, as far as horror movies, I saw one horror movie, but it was worth mentioning. I saw Smile 2, which
oh God, how is it?
It's I liked it and didn't like it, if that makes sense. When it pays off big time. And the girl that's at the center of it, I forget her name, but the protagonist, she's fantastic in it. She plays like a pop star, like a kind of maybe like a I was gonna say Britney Spears, but yeah, I mean she's pretty
like a Madonna.
She's a pretty troubled figure too, this girl. So I mean, someone who's still active, her career's still active, but she basically catches the smile thing if you've seen the first movie, and it plays out kind of in a similar way, but just because she's afflicted by the same thing the other girl's afflicted by in the first one, the one that's played by Kevin Bacon's daughter, who did a great job in the first Smile, but man, when this movie goes for it, it is so over the top and crazy that I just was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to have to give it a thumbs up for that. I mean, it was totally worth watching. It's not a great movie, but it's entertaining. And for a movie that did so well at the box office, I mean, there must have been a lot of people out there that were like, what the fuck did I just see? What was that?
Yeah.
And now I'm all for that. That's fantastic. I mean, it's got one of the coolest monsters I've ever seen because it's so ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the movie itself is okay. I mean, it's it's Smile, but it's like Smile a little bit too smiley, like where in the first movie it's kind of creepy, where all these people, you see these people smile at her, but there's only like a handful of them in that one. In this one, there's a whole scene where she's like being besieged by a group of them in her big, lofty, expensive apartment, and it's funny but creepy at the same time, and it kind of works because there's like a scene where every time she tries to turn and walk away from them, they're following her and they get a little closer, kind of like the cat that gets closer every time you look away. And then every time she turns back around, they're all like a wall of people just looking at her like... It's pretty creepy. It actually kind of works and is also really comical at the same time. So, and that's the guy that's going to be making the Possession remake. So I'm a little frightened of how that's going to work. Ooh. But, the guy has talent for sure. And this movie wasn't particularly scary, but it was all right. It was definitely worth a watch. So I don't know. What about you? What did you ingest a la horror or other?
Well, I want to say on that, you've convinced me to at least watch it because I've been avoiding it. I liked the first one until like the end. I was like, oh, that's shitty. And so the fact that you say that the monster in this one is good is really good news because the monster in that one was like hot trash water.
I mean, I assume it's the same monster, but it apparently takes different forms because in this one they decided to give it the batshit crazy form.
Hell yeah, I love that.
Instead of, what was it in the first one? A giant demon lady thing? Oversized crazy face thing or something?
I don't super duper remember what it was. It was pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
I just remember the feeling of strong disappointment. Whenever I try to pull it up in my head, I just remember the like creaky man or whatever from the fucking bad movie series. The one where he looks like a broken umbrella. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes. When it first, like, there's that scene where, like, in the first movie where the girl runs out of the bedroom because, you know, she thinks that she's being haunted by her mom or whatever, but it's obviously not her mom. It's this, whatever the fuck it is. So when it first emerges from the room and you realize that it's like 15 feet tall and has to bend over just to fit in the hallway, and its fingers are all long and creepy and stuff, but it's kind of cool, but then as soon as you, like, have a couple seconds to really see it on screen, you're just kind of like, wow, that looks like a parade float. Like, this is not scary at all.
Yeah. Well, I hope he kicks ass on Possession, because I want that to be good. I will give him a free pass on, like, the remake. You know, it whatever he does won't ruin the original, but do a good job, dude. You know, if you're gonna you know, put your balls on the chopping block, you need to do a good thing with your hands.
I'm hoping that it's, you know, kind of like the remake of Suspiria, which, what was it, Luca Guadagnino or something? I can't remember his name, but I had low hopes for that. Plus, it was an Amazon production, I think, so I just kind of was like, and then it came on Prime, and I watched it, and I was surprised. It was actually really good.
Nice.
It's got some really gruesome effects in it that are pretty fucking dark, and it works. Tilda Swinton's in it. She's great. And Mia Goth is in that movie, too, and she's pretty great in that movie as well.
Nice.
So it's actually was a decent remake, and the guy did something different with it. He didn't, you know, do it by the book. I mean, it's a similar story, but that's what I'm hoping for with Possession, but this guy's kind of known for humor. I mean, Smile was kind of funny in its own way, and this movie's much more kind of silly and funny in a, you know, its own way. I hope he doesn't go for silly and funny with Possession, because that would suck.
Ooh, that would be real rough.
Yeah, I mean, he would have to be super talented to pull that off, but I'll be watching it.
Tucker and Dale versus Possession.
Tucker and Dale versus Milk Blood Demon or whatever.
Oh man. Not good. So I watched The Madness. It's a Netflix series starring Coleman Domingo. It's he is a CNN commentator who is African American gentleman who speaks to woke topics.
Nice.
And then on a retreat to write a book in the Poconos, he comes across a dude who is like, yeah, if anything happens at your cabin, like if you need anything, you can come over to my cabin. But that guy's real weird. But then, of course, the power goes out. He goes over there, finds that dude all chopped up into pieces, and then runs away from two assassin guys into the woods. And then whenever he escapes, he goes to the cops. He's like, hey, that dude was all totes murdered bald. And then when they get there, there's no body. The cops are acting weird to him. And then it turns out that no one believes him that anyone was murdered. And then it turns out that people do believe him that guy was murdered. And that guy was a, like, white supremacist internet influencer. And now people are like coming up to him and being like, what did you do with Brother 14 and stuff like that. And then the whole like story just like snowballs from there and gets more and more wild, and it's really fucking good.
Oh.
And in fact, it was meant as a mini series, like a single season deal, but it was so good and people are responding to it so well that it's getting a season 2.
Wow. We almost started that last night, and then we ended up watching something else. I don't remember what we watched. It must have been that good. But we also saw Black Doves. That was pretty decent with Keira Knightley. It was not bad.
I started that. I'm on episode 2 of it, and I'm digging the weird sense of humor. How like she and the other guy have like really mundane conversations about like being a spy and assassinating people and stuff.
Yeah, that thread continues throughout the show. I mean, it's extremely implausible at times, but then after a while you realize that's kind of the point. I mean, it's not meant to be taken seriously. It's meant to look really lush, like a real serious British crime thriller. And it's got some great action and suspense in it, but you're definitely supposed to recognize that it's over the top, and it's great. I thought they did a great job with that show. It was really entertaining. Yeah, I would recommend that one. We're gonna watch that. We'll probably start the madness tonight.
It's real good. It's real good. And it's Coleman Domingo. We saw him last in the Candyman remake. He was the like guy who was trying to bring back Candyman, and man, he's so good in this. I hope this like propels him all the way up into superstardom and that he gets all of the good stuff. Apparently he's already like won an Academy Award or something. I have no idea.
I didn't know that. Wow, okay. I didn't realize that was him. Yeah. That is him in Candyman, isn't it? Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. He does, like, I when we were watching that movie, I even mentioned on the episode that he does weird mouth stuff whenever he's being crazy, and, like, watching this show, I'm like, look at you just do weird mouth stuff all the time, don't you?
Oh, man, that's so cool. I'm totally watching that. Did you see any other any other stuff, or...
No, that's been it. I finished listening to Book 5 in the Wheel of Time series and started Book 6. This has been something that I've been working on since last year. Whenever season 2 of the Wheel of Time concluded, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna finally go through and finish reading that whole series, and it's now like over a year later, and I'm through book 5 of 13.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, each book is like 1 billion hours long, because audiobook. Yeah.
That's what, Robert Jordan?
Robert Jordan.
Is that right?
Really, really obsessed with the difference between men and women. It's such a weird theme running it through. And he was like, oh yes, you have lady magic and you have man magic, and never the twain shall cross. There's no such thing as transgender. Even though people's spirits can be reinvigorated into a new body and they don't get to choose the body. Never once would a man's spirit be reinvigorated into a lady's body.
That's kind of annoying.
Yeah. It's very annoying. But other than that, the book series is really great, really engaging, super duper Catholic. Like, oh my god, this guy's so Catholic.
Wow. Okay, cool.
But it's a lot of fun. Yeah. So that's what I was doing.
I had the last few days have been crazy because I got on Threads just to check it out.
Nerd.
And I actually like it because for me, it's just a curated, basically, feed of like hilarious cat videos and then like people making one-liners that are actually funny, and everyone hates Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So I'm like, oh, this is my wheelhouse. So I started making. I was like, I wonder what would happen, because I've in all my time on social media, nothing's ever like hit that I've posted ever. 99% of what I put on when I was on Twitter or X got zero response whatsoever. Same with, for a long time, I used to get a response on Instagram, and I guess I still would if I actually posted things people cared about, but I don't. So, like the Loathsome Things page, I'd get maybe 2 or 3 likes every week. So I just was like, fuck this, I'm not doing this. Why am I doing this? So then I got on Threads, and I was like, I wonder if I hashtag like a joke about Elon Musk, if it will get any attention. So I did one. First I did a couple of those Luigi Mangione things. I made one post about how when I worked at Barnes & Noble that I had United Healthcare for like 1 million years, and I didn't have any horrible denial issues, but I also didn't have any horrible health problems to be denied. But then I said, my post was like, it's a good thing that he didn't have the Aetna high deductible health plan like I have now, because if he did, he would have blown that fucking building to the ground.
Jesus Christ.
And I got like 60 likes or something, which for me is a lot because I don't get any play. And then I made some post about Elon Musk, and it got like 600 likes, which is light years above any attention, anything I've ever posted, even though that's really nothing in the world of people who, actually get attention online. I just said Elon Musk wants to use parcels of federal land to camp the homeless by force. Let that sink in. And 672 likes, 400 comments. I mean, it kind of took off. Then I made a couple nowhere posts, and then I made this one. Elon Musk inherited his future, bought his hair, neglects and denigrates his children, and exclusively made his fortune with other people's ideas and labor. He also has a torso like a popped biscuit can. 5,400 likes. 539 comments, 402 shares, and 68 direct messages.
Wow, dude!
I was like, I went viral!
Popped biscuit can is pure genius!
I would say half the comments are, Popped biscuit can!
Nice.
I struck gold with that one. And of course got to get into a few arguments with some really dumb people.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Oh, it was great.
Ooh.
Blocked a handful.
So
it was wonderful.
So do you have a following now? Is Elon Musk jokes your new brand?
I don't know. I made one about Trump to test the waters on that one. So that one said something like Donald Trump said is going to drain the swamp and then fill it, or and then build a sewer or something like that. It was smarter than what I just said, and that one didn't hit so much. So I'm back to nobody pays any attention to anything I say, which feels much more. I feel a lot more comfortable, to be honest. Because when you see those viral posts and people just say the dumbest shit, and you're just kind of like, this is stupid. And when it's your post, it's the exact same response. Like, you're like, this is stupid. Like,
yeah.
I'm just glad people got a laugh out of it, because there were a handful. Like one guy, that was the best comment. This one guy said, "I fell and broke my arm this morning, and then I just got back from the hospital and read your post, and I'm like laughing, with my broken arm." And I was like, "Hey, that's awesome."
Nice. Very nice. Yeah, I will say one of my favorite activities on social media for the past few years has been to go back over the things that I've posted and delete everything that I no longer find funny.
Yeah, I've done that before. I did that so much that I basically just stopped using an entire profile. I switched on Facebook to another one. Now I don't use Facebook at all, so it's great.
Yeah, just to record these episodes.
Yep, I clicked on it and I was like, 20 plus updates. Oh, well, and then opened this.
Yeah, I do that, and it's like, people that have responded to events nearby, and I'm like, but why?
I love that.
Why?
I love those notifications.
Why are you here?
I also get notifications, over 100 people saw your post. I'm like, so the fuck what? Who cares? What does that mean?
None of them liked it.
Exactly. I put one, it said, that last kolache tasted like perfume. Not a single click on that one. Because it did. The person who bagged it up must have had perfume on their hands, because the whole thing smelled like perfume. It was disgusting.
Oh, God. That's not good.
Yeah, it's like sausage, cheese, and Pierre Cardin, or...
Yeah. Nice. Oh, man. I had one skeet go viral. It was in the early days of Blue Sky, and it was because I sent a picture. I added the CEO of Blue Sky, a picture that I felt was relevant to her, and she thought it was funny, and then everyone on Blue Sky at the time, which had like 50,000 people on it was like, oh my god, that's so funny. And I was like, I'm blowing up. I'm going to be famous now. And no, in fact, I was not go on to be famous.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm happy to add that as a result of that, not a single person went on my link tree and clicked to look at my art, listen to my music, or read anything that I've ever written.
Organic marketing at its finest.
Totally just... And then I realized, like, I do the exact same thing. I just scroll... I try to, like... If I like something, a lot of times I'll look at the person's profile first, because sometimes you read something wrong and you think it's cool or whatever, and then you go on their profile and they're all like, you know, drain the swamp. And you're like, oh, God, this guy's a fucking idiot. I'm not liking anything this person says. You know, so I always kind of check out what I'm liking. Not always, but, you know, but then a lot of times you just, you know, that's funny, like, move on. You know nothing about, have no clue who posted it. They probably shared it off someone else anyway, you know, so I'm sure 99.9% of the people that read my post were like that. They were just like, click, bye-bye, and then they moved on.
Yeah, that's how I do. I'm like, that's funny. Here, I'll give them a wee little serotonin boost.
It was weird. Like, I was really distracted. Well, the fact that I have ADHD probably doesn't help, but I was really distracted by it. So it was just like, I think I'm going to go to bed. Well, I'll just take one last look. And there'd be like threads at signs just all the way across the top of my phone. I'm just like, oh, what could that be?
Nice. Yeah, just like, refresh. Ooh, number went up. Hooray!
And it's funny because, you know, like, you know, you'll see, like, say, Stephen King, who is all over threads. I mean, like,
oh, nice.
You can almost just tag the guy and you've summoned him. I mean, it's happened so many times on there where people will go, oh, I've heard that all you have to do is say his name and he shows up. And then, like, right there under the comment, it'll say, it's true. You know, and it's Stephen King. And he does that a lot on threads. It's really crazy. You know, someone will be like, I wonder what Stephen King would say. And they won't even tag him. They'll just say, I wonder what Stephen King would say to a first-time author or whatever. And then he'll post, you know, well, I would say, make sure that you just keep writing and da-da-da. It's like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun on there now. They don't have any ads on there yet. They will, I'm sure, because it's Facebook. But it's entertaining for now. I'm sure I'll delete it in a couple weeks.
Yeah. I've occasionally thought, hey, maybe I should try out Threads, but then I'm like, nah, it's more Facebook shit. I'm not even gonna dip.
I will say, it's as much as I like that kind of there's a sense of community on Blue Sky. If you're not in that community, you're just a spectator in that community, and that's fine. If you want to know, for instance, like, I was really into all the horror writers and stuff, and I don't really follow them that much anymore, but for a while I did, and it was cool just to kind of keep up with them. And, you know, if you want to tell someone you like their book, you can tell them in there, and 9 times out of 10, they'll be pretty gracious and actually answer and say, oh, wow, thanks, like they're shocked that, you know, that one out of 10,000 people has also said they like your book. But, you know, that's kind of cool. But then when you try to, oh, I just got something published, I'll share it, and it's like, nobody likes it. You're just like, oh, I'm not part of any community. I'm an outsider watching all of this shit take place. I'm fucking nobody deluxe.
Yep.
And that's fine, except it gets boring after a while, because, you know, part of the fun is that you want to interact with people, but you can't, you know, because if you make some quip, that's what everyone else does. If you say something serious, there's always some asshole that puts TLDR or some shit or whatever, or you just get completely ignored. So it's like, it's a waste of time, basically. It's like, fuck this. This is lame. I'd rather look at murder videos on Instagram, apparently, because that's all it is now.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, I've seen so many people die. It's horrible.
On Instagram? I thought it was just, like, people not showing their nipples.
Oh, well, they've even transcended that now. You know how they've gotten around that? Breastfeeding.
Oh.
I get these videos of, like, a woman who's just like, and she pulls up her shirt and her boobs are just there, and you're just like, what, you can do that? And then all of a sudden this baby's just like, and I'm just like, this is really gross. What is wrong with people?
No, John, it's beautiful.
It's so obviously targeted at men, too. It's clearly not meant to be this beautiful thing, but they don't want to get in trouble for discriminating against women who breastfeed, so they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. And it's just so it's just so obvious that it's just there to see boobies. So I'm just like, block. This is ridiculous. Like I'm not 16 anymore. Otherwise, I'd be in heaven. But no. Then the dark side of Instagram is the endless pages of banned videos or whatever, and like, don't stop if you're scrolling and see one, because then Instagram thinks you love them, even though you never interact on a single one. And then your entire feed of the videos, reels or whatever, is just somebody getting hit by a car, or a guy getting electrocuted, or some dude getting crushed in a machine, or some guy that touches like a spindle of some sort, and suddenly his body is flipping in a giant circle like a rag doll. It's just like, Jesus Christ, this is horrible. This is Instagram now? That and boobies.
Wow.
So yeah.
That and boobies. Yeah.
So,
wow.
So the internet's is going well.
Yeah. Man, I don't even like watching fail videos, where it's like, a compilation of people falling down and hurting their bones.
Oh, those are horrible. Like the skateboarding ones. Yeah. Where the guy gets up and his arm is in an L shape. It's just like, Jesus Christ, that's horrible.
Jesus. Yeah, no thank you.
I saw one like that. The guy fell on a curb, and when he got up, his arm was the shape of the curb down to the road. It was like an L, like the forearm was just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I am very thankful that the NFL has been like, let's stop replaying the horrific, gruesome injuries that people get. No one needs to see a guy's foot be at the wrong angle anymore.
Oh my God, I was traumatized by Joe Theismann. I still remember that like it was yesterday. I ever since then, I wince every time I see anything like that. I turn away. It's like, whoa, okay. Is it done?
Yeah. Let me know when it's over.
They just played that one over and like, there you can see his leg, his thigh breaks sideways or whatever. It was just like, stop playing that. What's wrong?
Oh, yeah. No good.
Yeah. Okay. So the world's a terrible place.
On to happier. Yeah. Fuck social media and sports and people with video cameras in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of people with video cameras in general, John, what are we going to watch 2 weeks hence? AKA our first new episode of the year 2025, AKA our first video of the better year, AKA I believe, last episode that we produce under President Joe Biden.
I think so. When does Ding Dong take office? Like the 15th or 20th or something?
I mean, if I had to guess, I would say January 6th, but I don't think that's right.
I think that would be the certification of the vote, but it's not the actual inauguration day. But this episode will be on the 5th, and I know because I looked this up, because I was like, what if I picked a movie that had some sort of political something or other, and then I looked up, and there was a certain one that kept popping up. And so with that in mind, have we done anything by a Canadian fellow by the name of David Cronenberg yet? We have not, have we?
we have, in fact, not dipped a Cronin toe into anything.
Well, that's good, because starting in 2025, we're going to kick the year off with, this is, I think, where I got the year. I believe it's 1983's Dead Zone.
Ooh! Yeah. Wait, Christopher Walken, right?
Yes.
Oh, man. I don't even think we've done a Christopher Walken movie.
We haven't. No, and now we're going to do the Dead Zone. And not only is it Cronenberg and Walken, it's a Stephen King novel.
Oh, shit. Really? I had no idea.
It's the trifecta.
It's funny because for the longest time, I thought it was just a really shitty TV show on the Sci-Fi Channel.
It's so bad. Actually, it's pretty cool, and it's the whole political like assassination subplot. Awesome.
Nice. Okay, well, I'll have to check that out too. I guess. All right, so meet us back here next year, aka 2 weeks from now, aka still Joe Biden, aka David Cronenberg, aka Stephen King, aka Christopher Walken, for The Dead Zone.
I don't know why I did that. That was weird.
Santa, why?
Why did I throw a pirate laugh on there? Fucking idiot.
Listen to my Italian accent. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Oh my god. Yeah.
So go out there, resist oppression, free Hong Kong and Tibet, and don't fuck dead ladies.
Yeah. Deny, defend, depose.
Jesus Christ. Chuck Mangione. It's like, his name's Luigi Mangione. How is that a real person?
It's really, really painful. The whole thing is so weird.
And eyebrows for days. Jesus Christ.
It's going on and on. Yes, so we live in dark times, folks. See you in a couple weeks. I think we're both sorry that you're all have to die. You're all have to die. Yeah.
You're have to die in Ural?
If you go to the Urals, you'll have to die.
Your CEO had to die?
You're in luck?
The Euro is down have to die? Yeah. Michelle Trachtenberg in Euro Trip have to die?
I was gonna make a Euro Trip joke. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Utah have to die.
There you go. And scene.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
And we're done. We gotta hit stop the recording. Stop.
Michelle Trachtenberg.